Jungkook got angry at Taehyung on stage, but what happened next left ARMY in tears. What could possibly make Jungkook suddenly look at Taehyung with anger in the middle of a performance? Was it a misunderstanding, an emotional confession, or something neither of them expected to reveal in front of thousands of fans? And why did the atmosphere change so dramatically just moments after that tense exchange? Before we go any further, if you are an ARMY who has ever noticed the smallest details between Jungkook and Taehyung, stay until the end, because there is one emotional twist in this story that changes the meaning of the entire moment. If this kind of BTS story makes you curious, leave a comment telling us what you think happened, press like, and subscribe for more emotional stories surrounding BTS and its members. The moment began like any other unforgettable night on stage. The lights were moving across the arena, the crowd was screaming, cameras were capturing every expression, and the members of BTS were performing with the confidence and energy that fans around the world have come to recognize. Jungkook was completely focused on the performance. Taehyung was moving across the stage, interacting with the other members and responding to the energy coming from the audience. Nothing seemed unusual. At least, not at first. It was only a few seconds. But sometimes a few seconds are enough to make thousands of people wonder what is really happening behind a smile. Jungkook's expression changed. The smile disappeared. His eyes became serious. Taehyung seemed to notice immediately. For a brief moment, the two stood close enough for their interaction to become visible to fans watching from the audience and through cameras. Jungkook appeared to say something to Taehyung. Taehyung listened, his expression changing from playful to noticeably more serious. The crowd continued screaming. But something about the interaction felt different. Jungkook appeared angry. And that was when the questions began. Why was Jungkook upset with Taehyung? What had Taehyung done? Was this simply part of the performance? Was Jungkook genuinely frustrated? Or had something happened backstage that the audience knew nothing about? Fans immediately began replaying the moment in their minds. Some focused on Jungkook's eyes. Others watched Taehyung's reaction. Some wondered whether Jungkook had simply been joking. But then came the detail that made the entire moment much more emotional. Taehyung did not fight back. He did not laugh. He did not try to turn the situation into another playful interaction. Instead, he looked at Jungkook quietly. And for a moment, the expression on Taehyung's face appeared almost apologetic. That single reaction changed everything. What if Jungkook's anger wasn't really about Taehyung? What if the argument fans thought they were witnessing was actually connected to something much deeper? The answer, at least in this dramatized fan story interpretation, is far more emotional than the initial confrontation suggests. This is not a verified report of an actual incident, but a fictionalized BTS-inspired narrative designed around the emotional dynamic fans often imagine when watching Jungkook and Taehyung together. And the story begins with something surprisingly simple. A promise. Several hours before the performance, the atmosphere backstage had been completely different. The members were preparing for the show, staff members were moving around, music was playing in the background, and everyone was trying to conserve enough energy for the long performance ahead. Jungkook was focused. He had been rehearsing repeatedly. Taehyung, however, seemed quieter than usual. It was difficult to tell whether he was tired, nervous, or simply lost in his thoughts. Jungkook noticed. He always seemed to notice small changes in the people around him. At one point, according to the fictional storyline, Jungkook approached Taehyung and asked whether everything was okay. Taehyung smiled. He said he was fine. Jungkook did not completely believe him. "You sure?" Taehyung nodded. "I'm fine." The conversation ended there. Or at least, Jungkook thought it had. But Taehyung had been carrying something with him throughout the day. Not anger. Not resentment. Something else. A promise he had made to himself. He wanted to make the performance memorable. He wanted to give fans something they would never forget. And he had decided that the easiest way to do that was to surprise Jungkook during the performance. It sounded harmless. It sounded playful. But there was one problem. Jungkook had no idea. And Jungkook did not like surprises when they involved something important to him. As the show began, everything went according to plan. The lights dimmed. The crowd erupted. The members appeared. The opening music filled the venue. Jungkook immediately became the performer fans knew so well, focused, powerful, confident, and completely immersed in the stage. Taehyung was equally charismatic. Every movement seemed effortless. Every expression sent the audience into another wave of screams. For a while, there was no indication that anything would go wrong. Then came the moment. Taehyung moved closer to Jungkook. The two exchanged a glance. Taehyung smiled. Jungkook smiled back. Then Taehyung did something unexpected. He stepped closer and whispered something into Jungkook's ear. Jungkook's expression immediately changed. At first, he looked confused. Then surprised. Then serious. Taehyung pulled away. Jungkook stared at him. The cameras caught it. The audience noticed. And suddenly, the playful atmosphere between them disappeared. Jungkook appeared to say something. Taehyung's smile faded. For a few seconds, it looked as if Jungkook was genuinely angry. That was when the arena became emotionally charged. Fans began wondering whether something had gone wrong. Some imagined that Taehyung had said something inappropriate. Others believed Jungkook was simply reacting to a joke. But in this fictional narrative, the truth was much more complicated. Jungkook wasn't angry because Taehyung had embarrassed him. He wasn't angry because Taehyung had made a mistake. He was angry because Taehyung had broken a promise. A promise made years earlier. A promise about never hiding something important from each other. And Jungkook had just discovered that Taehyung had been hiding something. The revelation was not romantic. It was not scandalous. It was something far more painful. Taehyung had been struggling emotionally before the show. He had been exhausted. He had been questioning whether he could continue carrying the pressure of being constantly watched. And instead of telling Jungkook, he had decided to hide it. That was what hurt Jungkook. Not the secret itself. The fact that Taehyung felt he had to carry it alone. Jungkook's anger was therefore not the anger of someone who wanted to push another person away. It was the anger of someone who cared deeply and felt helpless. He wanted Taehyung to trust him. He wanted Taehyung to understand that he did not have to pretend everything was okay. But none of that could be explained in the middle of a performance. Thousands of people were watching. Millions could potentially see the footage later. There was no private space. There was no opportunity for a long conversation. So Jungkook did something that confused everyone. He walked away. Taehyung remained still. The music continued. The other members continued performing. But Taehyung's expression changed. The playful smile was gone. His eyes lowered. And suddenly, the audience saw something completely different. A person who looked vulnerable. Jungkook noticed. He turned around. For a moment, it seemed as though he might continue walking. Instead, he stopped. He looked back. Taehyung was still standing there. Jungkook's expression softened. That was the turning point. The anger was still there. But behind it was something much stronger. Concern. Jungkook returned. He approached Taehyung again. This time, he did not say anything. He simply placed a hand on Taehyung's shoulder. Taehyung looked at him. And the two exchanged a quiet glance. No dramatic speech. No public confession. No explanation. Just a look. And somehow, that look said everything. Taehyung seemed to understand. Jungkook wasn't trying to punish him. He was trying to tell him that he cared. The audience erupted. Some fans screamed. Others began crying. The emotional atmosphere changed almost instantly. Then Taehyung did something unexpected. He reached for Jungkook's hand. Jungkook hesitated. Only for a fraction of a second. Then he held it. The moment lasted perhaps a few seconds. But those seconds became the emotional center of the entire story. The anger had disappeared. What remained was understanding. And that was why the fictional moment affected so many ARMY in this imagined scenario. Because beneath all the speculation, the supposed argument was never really about anger. It was about fear. Fear of losing someone. Fear of watching someone struggle alone. Fear that a person you care about might say, "I'm fine," when they are anything but fine. The stage lights continued moving around them. The music continued. The other members continued the performance. But for Jungkook and Taehyung, the moment seemed almost private despite the enormous audience. Jungkook leaned slightly closer. Taehyung smiled. This time, the smile was different. It wasn't the playful smile from earlier. It was smaller, softer, almost relieved. And then Jungkook did something that made the audience emotional. He hugged Taehyung. Not a dramatic embrace. Not something exaggerated for the cameras. Just a simple hug. The kind of hug that communicates, "I'm here." Taehyung's shoulders relaxed. He closed his eyes for a moment. And Jungkook held on. The crowd became louder. But inside the fictional story, the noise almost disappeared. Because the two seemed to understand something that did not need words. Sometimes anger is simply another form of fear. Sometimes frustration comes from caring too much. And sometimes the person who looks the angriest is actually the person who is most afraid of seeing someone they love hurt. That was the hidden meaning behind the moment. At least, that was how the fictional story interpreted it. Of course, real-life fans would have no way of knowing the private thoughts behind a brief stage interaction unless the members themselves explained them. Facial expressions and gestures can easily be misunderstood, especially when viewed through edited clips, slowed footage, subtitles, or social media commentary. But that uncertainty is precisely what makes moments like these so fascinating. Fans see a glance, a pause, a change in expression, a hand reaching toward another person. And suddenly, an entire story begins to form. The internet does the rest. Within minutes, imagined explanations can become supposed facts. A playful interaction can become an argument. A serious expression can become anger. A whisper can become a confession. And a hug can become proof of something nobody actually confirmed. That is why this story must be understood as dramatized entertainment rather than a verified account of a real BTS incident. Still, within the fictional narrative, the emotional journey continues. After the performance ended, Jungkook and Taehyung finally had the opportunity to talk privately. The backstage hallway was quieter. The roar of the audience was distant. Staff members were moving around, but for a moment, the two found themselves away from the spotlight. Jungkook looked at Taehyung. Neither spoke immediately. Then Jungkook finally asked the question he had wanted to ask all day. "Why didn't you tell me?" Taehyung looked down. He didn't answer. Jungkook waited. Eventually, Taehyung admitted that he didn't want to become another burden. That sentence hurt Jungkook more than anything else. Because in Jungkook's mind, friendship wasn't about only sharing good moments. It was also about being there during difficult ones. "You don't have to protect me from your problems," Jungkook said in the fictional narrative. Taehyung looked at him. "And you don't have to pretend you're okay." For the first time that night, Taehyung's eyes filled with tears. Jungkook noticed. He didn't make a joke. He didn't try to change the subject. He simply stayed. That was the real surprise. The stage argument had appeared dramatic, but the reason behind it was quiet. There was no scandal, no betrayal, no secret relationship revelation, no dramatic announcement. Just two people trying to understand each other. And that made the story even more emotional. Because sometimes the moments that hurt the most are not caused by hatred. They are caused by people caring deeply but failing to communicate. Jungkook had interpreted Taehyung's silence as distance. Taehyung had interpreted Jungkook's concern as pressure. Both were trying to protect the other. Both ended up hurting. And eventually, both realized the same thing. They didn't need to protect each other from every difficult emotion. They simply needed to be honest. The next morning, the atmosphere was different. Taehyung appeared more relaxed. Jungkook was joking again. The tension was gone. Nobody watching from the outside would have known what happened behind the scenes. And perhaps that was the point. The most meaningful conversations are often the ones that never become public. The internet might remember a few seconds of tension. Fans might debate the meaning. Some might insist Jungkook looked angry. Others might argue that he was joking. Some might create theories. Others might simply enjoy the moment. But the truth is that only the people involved would know what was really happening. That uncertainty should always be respected. Still, the fictional story gives fans something to think about. How many times do people say they are fine when they are not? How many friendships suffer because someone is afraid to ask for help? How many arguments are actually cries for understanding? And how often do we mistake anger for indifference when it may actually come from concern? That is why the imagined confrontation between Jungkook and Taehyung becomes more than a dramatic stage moment. It becomes a story about friendship, about trust, about communication, about the fear of being a burden, and about the courage required to admit that you are not okay. The emotional climax arrives later that evening. Jungkook and Taehyung are sitting quietly after everything has ended. There are no cameras, no audience, no stage lights, no screaming crowd. Just silence. Taehyung finally says something that changes the entire meaning of the night. "I thought you were angry because I embarrassed you." Jungkook looks at him. "I was angry because you didn't tell me." Taehyung's eyes become watery. Jungkook continues. "If something is wrong, tell me." Taehyung smiles. Then he asks the question that breaks the tension. "What if I don't know how to explain it?" Jungkook answers simply. "Then don't explain it." Taehyung looks confused. "Just stay." That sentence becomes the heart of the story. Just stay. No perfect explanation. No perfect words. No performance. No pretending. Just presence. And in that moment, Taehyung finally understands why Jungkook had looked angry on stage. It wasn't because he wanted distance. It was because he wanted closeness. It was because he wanted Taehyung to stop hiding behind a smile. It wasn't because he wanted to control him. It was because he was afraid that Taehyung was carrying something alone. The story ends not with another dramatic performance, but with something much quieter. The two laugh. The tension disappears. Taehyung nudges Jungkook's shoulder. Jungkook smiles. And for a moment, everything feels normal again. The audience will never see that conversation. They will only see the stage. They will only see the angry expression. They will only see the hug. They will only see the moment when Jungkook reaches for Taehyung. But perhaps that is enough. Because sometimes a single gesture can make people feel something words cannot explain. And perhaps that is why ARMY became emotional in this fictional story. Not because Jungkook was angry. Not because Taehyung made a mistake. but because the anger eventually revealed something much softer: concern. The story also raises another important question. Why do fans become so emotional when they see moments like this? Part of the answer is simple. Fans have watched BTS members grow together for years. They have seen their successes, challenges, jokes, performances, interviews, and countless interactions. When viewers become emotionally attached to a group, even small moments can carry enormous meaning. A glance can feel important. A smile can feel comforting. A hug can feel powerful. But there is also a responsibility that comes with being a fan. Not every expression has a hidden meaning. Not every interaction is evidence of conflict. Not every rumor is true. And not every emotional moment should be turned into a factual claim. That is especially important when discussing real people. Jungkook and Taehyung have their own private lives, feelings, boundaries, and relationships. Fans can enjoy their friendship and performances without assuming they know what happens behind closed doors. If anything, it makes the emotional message stronger. The lesson is about what the imagined moment represents. It represents the fear of being misunderstood. It represents the pain of hiding emotions. It represents the importance of checking on people we care about. And it represents the simple power of saying, "I'm here." Imagine being on stage in front of tens of thousands of people. Imagine knowing that every expression can be photographed. Every movement can be recorded. Every whisper can be analyzed. Every glance can become a headline. Under those circumstances, even a small misunderstanding could become enormous. That's why the fictional confrontation feels so intense. The stage is supposed to be a place of performance. But emotions do not always follow scripts. People can become tired. People can become nervous. People can become overwhelmed. People can misunderstand each other. And sometimes the person standing next to you is the only person who knows that something is wrong. In the imagined story, Jungkook notices. Taehyung hides. Jungkook becomes frustrated. Taehyung becomes hurt. Then they talk. And the conflict transforms into understanding. That transformation is what makes the story worth remembering. Not the anger. The reconciliation. Not the confrontation. The care behind it. Not the speculation. The emotional lesson. As the fictional narrative spreads among fans, different interpretations begin appearing. Some fans believe Jungkook was angry. Some think he was worried. Others believe Taehyung deliberately provoked him as part of a joke. Some fans focus on the hug. Others focus on the expression before it. And some simply say that whatever happened, the moment felt emotional. But there is another twist. The more fans analyze the moment, the more they realize how easy it is to create a story from incomplete information. A 5-second clip can remove everything that happened before it. A 10-second clip can remove everything that happened after it. A caption can change the perceived meaning. A dramatic title can influence what viewers think they saw. And suddenly, the audience isn't watching the original moment anymore. They're watching someone else's interpretation. That is one of the most important ideas behind this fictional narrative. Sometimes the biggest surprise isn't what happened between the people on stage. It's how quickly millions of strangers can build an entire emotional story around a few seconds. And that is exactly what makes the imagined Jungkook-Taehyung confrontation so compelling. It asks us to look beyond the surface. What if the angry expression wasn't anger? What if the silence wasn't rejection? What if the hug wasn't fan service? What if the entire moment was simply two people trying to understand each other? There is no way to confirm those private motivations from a stage clip alone. But as a fictional story, the possibilities allow us to explore something deeply human. The fear that someone we care about is hurting. The frustration of not being trusted. The sadness of feeling like a burden. and the relief that comes when someone finally says, "You don't have to handle this alone." That is why the imagined ending is not a dramatic confession. It is a quiet promise. Jungkook tells Taehyung that he doesn't need to pretend. Taehyung promises that next time, he will speak. They don't solve everything. They don't suddenly become perfect. They simply understand each other a little better. And perhaps that is what real relationships are supposed to look like. Not perfection. Understanding. Not endless agreement. Communication. Not never getting angry. Knowing how to come back after the anger. The stage lights eventually disappear. The crowd goes home. The cameras stop recording. The music ends. But the emotional question remains. If someone you cared about was struggling, would you notice? And if you noticed, would you ask? Would you stay when they said they were fine? Would you believe the smile? Or would you look closer? That is the question this story leaves with the audience. Because sometimes the people who seem strongest are the ones who are exhausted from pretending to be strong. Sometimes a smile hides uncertainty. Sometimes silence hides fear. And sometimes anger is simply concern wearing a louder face. The imagined Jungkook-Taehyung moment becomes powerful because it transforms what initially looks like conflict into a message about compassion. The audience thought they were watching an argument. Then they saw a hug. They thought they were watching anger. Then they saw concern. They thought someone had made a mistake. Then they discovered a story about trust. And that emotional reversal is the twist that makes the fictional narrative unforgettable. For ARMY, the most touching moment is not necessarily the hug itself. It is the reason behind it. A hug can be simple. But when someone who was angry moments earlier chooses to stay, the gesture can feel enormous. It says that anger does not always mean the relationship is broken. It says that disagreement does not automatically mean rejection. It says that people can hurt each other without wanting to lose each other. And most importantly, it says that reconciliation is possible. The story also reminds us that public figures deserve the same emotional boundaries as everyone else. Even when millions of people admire them, they remain human beings. Their private emotions cannot be known simply from a facial expression. Their friendships cannot be completely understood through a camera lens. Their conversations cannot be reconstructed accurately from a few seconds of footage. That is why this story should remain what it is, an emotional fictional interpretation, not a claim about an actual BTS incident. But fiction can still carry truth. Not factual truth about what happened. Emotional truth about what people experience. The fear of losing someone. The pain of being misunderstood. The difficulty of asking for help. The importance of staying. Those emotions are universal. And perhaps that is why the story feels so real. Because even if the exact scene is imagined, the feelings behind it are familiar. Everyone has experienced a misunderstanding. Everyone has been angry with someone they care about. Everyone has hidden something because they didn't want to become a burden. Everyone has wished someone would simply notice. And everyone knows how powerful it can feel when someone finally does. The final image of the fictional story is therefore not Jungkook looking angry. It is Jungkook smiling. Taehyung smiling back. The stage is empty. The lights are fading. The audience has gone. And the two friends are finally able to speak without thousands of people watching. There is no dramatic announcement. No sensational ending. Just a quiet understanding. Sometimes that's all people need. Someone who notices. Someone who asks. Someone who stays. And perhaps that is the real reason this imagined moment makes ARMY cry. Because beneath the noise, beneath the theories, beneath the headlines, beneath the endless speculation, there is a simple human message. If you care about someone, don't only celebrate them when they are smiling. Be there when they are silent. If someone tells you they're fine but their eyes say something different, ask again. And if they don't know how to explain what they're feeling, don't always demand an explanation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is simply, "I'm here." That is where the fictional story of Jungkook and Taehyung comes to an end. But the question remains, was Jungkook really angry, or was the anger simply the visible surface of something much deeper? Did Taehyung really do something wrong, or was he simply trying to hide what he was feeling? And if this scene ever happened exactly as imagined, would the audience have understood the truth from the stage? Probably not. Because cameras can capture expressions. They cannot capture every thought behind those expressions. They can record gestures. They cannot record every emotion. They can preserve a moment. They cannot automatically explain it. That is why the most dramatic answer is not always the most accurate one. And that is why this story should be enjoyed as a fictional, emotional fan narrative rather than presented as verified news. Disclaimer: this video/article is created for entertainment and storytelling purposes only. The story about Jungkook being angry with Taehyung on stage is a fictionalized narrative and is not presented as a verified account of a real event. Any dialogue, emotions, reactions, conversations, or situations described are dramatized and should not be interpreted as factual statements about Jungkook, Taehyung, BTS, or their private lives. We do not claim that the events described actually happened. Please do not use this content as a source of factual information or as evidence of the personal feelings, relationships, or private circumstances of any BTS member. This content is intended solely as fan-oriented entertainment and should be enjoyed responsibly.